Hello, friends, and welcome to the podcast 002, where we are going to speak about salary negotiations. Yes, it's a very important question. Everybody knows that for our future work or present work, doesn't matter, we need an employment contract. And before each employment contract, we usually discuss and negotiate our offer letters with our future company, yes. And of course, although offer letters and employment contracts share some similar characteristics, they are not the same. And offer letters are less formal than employment contracts and they generally involve less details. But nevertheless, it's still company's commitment and all terms and conditions to be included in the offer letter should be very clear because in future they should be used for your employment contract. So let's imagine that you put your best game on during the interview process and convinced a company to issue a job offer for you. All that hard work has paid off and now you can relax and congratulate yourself, right? No, unfortunately, only partially. First, you have to negotiate that offer so that you get exactly what you want and need in terms of salary and other benefits. While companies almost always build some negotiation room into their benefits packages, only 30% of people actually negotiate them. Can you imagine? And this can be a costly mistake. Let's take, for instance, if you could have successfully negotiated your starting salary 10k higher, not only would you have made 10k more your first year with the company and every year after that, but your future raises, being proportional to your salary, would have all been higher too. By not negotiating your starting salary and benefits when you are given a job offer, which to be honest requires simply opening your mouth for 30 seconds, you can leave a ton of money on the table in the years, right? And decades to come. Given that, why don't more people do it? I think fear, namely. People feel too awkward, don't know how to negotiate, have not much practice in it, etc. And to be honest, in the beginning of my career, I had the same problems. And by the way, could you please write in comments what kind of difficulties do you have or previously had? I mean, in terms of salary negotiations. Just your case, several words. Because it's easier to ask for 100 off a TV at an electronic store than to ask for 10k more per year from your potential employer. But okay, once you are a little more comfortable with negotiating in general, you can use the following job offer specific tips which can help you to negotiate your salary. I tried to divide all tips on several steps, and first step I would like to call it as homework. Yes, do your homework. It's not joke because before each interview you should be prepared. Before you even walk into a job interview, you should know roughly what to expect in terms of salary and benefits. And there are a number of available resources that allow you to search based on position, industry, geographic area, such resources as LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed. You can start from these and look for industry specific resources as well. If you know people in the industry who you are comfortable asking about what to expect, go for it. Most companies are not posting salaries and their job listing, and if you haven't done your homework, you give the folks here in total control over the negotiations from the outset. Not a good move. The next is you should be non committal and avoid any answers regarding salary history and your expectations. Of course, in the past, even up to just a few years ago, it was common for hiring managers to ask candidates about their salary history and expectations. It's an awkward question, particularly for the job seeker. You might be embarrassed to share what you've previously been making if you think it will sound low. If you're expecting to get salary higher comparing with your existing level, you might be worried about answering with a too high a number. But sometimes, of course, we can get some questions, like what's your salary history or what was your salary in your previous position? Don't you have to answer? No. And if you have an opportunity to take a piece of paper and pencil, you can just make some notes and I'll try to give you some advice as an example how you can answer on this question. So, in that case, stick with something vague, just I'll be happy to discuss compensation details further, once I've learned more about the position. By the way, it's my favorite answer. Or something like, I'd rather not discuss previous compensation. I'm looking forward to the future, and this company and position is perhaps part of that. Might you miss out on an opportunity or two? It's possible, but not likely. Not offering up a previous salary is not going to keep a company from hiring the person they want. All of this advice goes equally well when asked about salary expectations. What are you hoping to earn in this position? Do you have a salary range in mind? Again, keep it vague and give as much non-answer as you can. I'll consider any reasonable offer, or I'd rather not answer that right now. If given an offer, I'll consider the benefits packages as a whole, and whatever you do, don't give a range. This is a very important negotiation rule. You never say the first number. If you do, you'll most likely be offered the low end of the range rather than the top end. The next step is the most difficult. Don't blindly accept the first offer. Yes, it's true. When you get an official offer in writing with your name on it, you might be giddy regardless of the details of the accompanying benefits package. Understandable. Getting a job offer, whether it's your first or you're moving into a new career, it's really exciting. But accepting the first offer given is lowballing yourself, plain and simple, and not only in the immediate future. Remember, you are not only sacrificing money upfront, but in the long term as well, as raises are often calculated as a percentage of your previous salary. You could be losing out of hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of career simply for the one mistake of accepting a low salary offer in your 20s. Oh, further, most companies don't actually expect candidates to accept the first offer. So what they present is lower than what is probably in the budget. Yes, each HR department has its own big budget, and in most cases, offers are made with wiggle room built in. If you accept the first offer given, especially if you think it's somewhat low or even mid range, it's possible you'll come to feel resentful or that you aren't appreciated enough, and that can ultimately poison your satisfaction in the job. But really, you accepted the offer. You only have yourself to blame for not asking for more from the get go. And okay, friends, and following to the previous tip, the next step could be highlighted. Instead of, how to say, instead of accepting the first offer, take some time to consider the offer and gauge the value of the salary or other benefits as a whole. Okay, rather than immediately saying yes, just pump the brakes a bit and let the hiring manager or supervisor know that, of course, you appreciate the offer, but would like a day or two maybe to think things over. And this is totally normal and expected. Even if it's double what you were hoping for, take a couple of days. To immediately and excitedly accept an offer shows the company that perhaps they offered you too much and that they could have gotten you with much less. You don't want them thinking that. Use this time to think about the benefits package as a whole. In order to know how close the offer is to what you want or need and thus how to frame your counteroffer, you just need to examine it from several angles. First, you want to gauge the overall monetary value of the offer. A job with a lower salary but more benefits can actually be worth more overall than another offer with a higher salary but fewer benefits. The monetary value of a benefits package could include not only the job starting salary, and by the way, on the later front, sometimes starting salaries are probationary, temporary in nature. I had my personal example after university. In the beginning of my career, I had started from 12,000 per year, and then it was raised 15% up to 24,000 per year. So it's definitely worth knowing the entire salary structure, including bonus schedules and how raises are determined. And don't forget to ask about what job-related costs your employer reimburses. So just about travel compensation and insurance. By the way, speaking about insurance, insurance is another variable to factor in when computing the monetary value of the offer. Insurance plans offered through your employer cost money, but it usually comes out of your paycheck pre-tax, and many employers pay a portion of those premiums. They tend to be far better plans than what you could get on your own for the same amount of money. Do your homework on a company's insurance benefits as well and learn how to read the fine print in order to calculate its real value. In addition to assessing the job offer's monetary value, you should also weigh its non-financial benefits. Don't forget, please, about it. It's very important. And questions like how many vacations days do you get? How flexible are the work hours? Can you work all or part from the time at home? Job offer negotiations are not just about salary. They are also a chance to ask for more or these work-life balance benefits as well. By the way, in one of my previous companies, I had even such kind of lunch tickets, which could be used instead of money in canteen or nearest restaurant. And so, as you examine the entire of the benefits package that's offered, really think about what you value and want in life. Once you've got a handle of that, you'll know exactly what to ask for in your counteroffer. And okay, we have already discussed such tips like do your homework, discussed that you should be non-committal. We discussed that no necessary to accept the first offer, and we discussed that we should take some time to think about offer and other relevant bonuses or benefits from your future potential company. And for the moment, I would like to name this blog as just interviewing and receiving an offer. And now I propose to start to speak about counter offering and negotiating. So, whether the salary and benefits package you are offered is lower than you wanted, right? And maybe right around what you expected, or even higher than you hoped, you should try to negotiate it higher. In any case, try to negotiate it higher. In the first case, it's necessity in order to get what you need. So, if it's around what you expected, you might as well try to nudge the needle higher. And let's discuss how we can do it. And start from the simple thing. Just ask for 10 or maybe 25% more than what you was offered. Because when counter offering, it's hard to know exactly how much to ask for. If you were looking for a job that offered upwards of 30% more than what was offered, it's quite possible this position isn't for you. Otherwise, in general, ask for more than what you actually want to make. So that the employer's counteroffer gets you right where you want to be. Just for example, say you are really hoping to make 60,000 per year. You get offered 55,000. So you want 5k more per year and you just make a counteroffer of 10k more per year. It will be in total 65, just under 20% more, but okay. While not every company negotiates like this, you odds are decent of landing somewhere around 60. And frankly, you might as well always ask for 20% more. Why not? Because you just never know. You are not going to lose a job offer for asking for that amount. No. Worst case scenario, okay, you'll run into a situation where they actually can't, for whatever reason, offer anymore, and they will ask if you can work for the amount originally offered. From there, the choice remains in your hands, of course. And remember, as noted above, you can not only negotiate the financial terms of the job offer, but its other benefits as well. While some benefits are pretty set in stone, namely healthcare, for instance, others are often flexible. Rather than asking for 20% more on your paycheck, ask for another week of time off, or if you can work from home on Fridays, just for example. And the next, what's important to discuss, you always should justify your ask. Yes, reasons could be different. It can be tempting to bring up mortgages and childcare bills when asking for more money. Oh, sir, I have two young kids and they getting crazy. Any chance we can do more on salary? Sure, it might inspire a touch of sympathy, but the reality is that everyone is dealing with this stuff. But Really. Every job candidate has bills to pay. That's quite possibly the very reason you are looking for a new job. Don't play those cards. Rather, justify your ask by setting market industry standards and, most importantly, your value and what you bring to the table. It could be the following expression: while I appreciate your offer, I believe my experience managing a team of 10 employees brings a level of unique value to your company that would be better reflected in a salary along the lines of and blah blah blah, whatever amount. Frankly, the hiring manager doesn't care about your house or family, but just think, they more care about what you are adding to the company. And the most interesting question: what do you do if the potential employer doesn't accept your counteroffer? If you present your counteroffer, but the company won't budge and sticks with their original offer, you obviously have two choices. You can accept the offer anyway or decline. No other. It's possible that in walking away, the employer may suddenly find some money in the budget to meet your requests, but don't count on them calling your bluff. Only say you are walking away if you are fully prepared to do so. Obviously, the decision to accept or decline will come down to individual factors. How desperate are you for the job? Do you have any other offers lined up? How close was their offer to what you wanted? How much do you want to work for this particular company? Just ask yourself, might the outstanding culture of the company make up for a lower salary? Or will taking this lower paying job now ultimately set you up for a greater success later? Who knows? Ultimately, negotiating and then accepting or declining a job offer is all about finding exactly what's right for you and where you are at in life. So just know what you want, don't be afraid to ask for it, and hope tips we described will be very helpful for you. Thank you very much for listening my podcast. See you next week. Please like, subscribe. Your support motivates me to do more for you. Thank you, friends.